My children and grandchildren are growing up at a time where every religion is in danger of being hijacked by extremists. I've come to Israel to alert them to this danger. I just hope it's not too late.
How you doing, my son?
Sorry that I couldn't get you.
It's all right. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know who I am. How you doing, son? Not gonna be afraid? You think you could do it? You think so? Let's see. Watch where you're going. Got it. He's got it. I think I'm an enigma to my children because in a way I spent a lot of time as they were growing up studying the Talmud with them. I taught them how to read a page of Talmud, how to analyze it, the logic and the structure of the Talmud. I enjoyed that interaction with my kids. And in a way, they can't understand how Dad could have now in his old age sort of become, misdirected, misguided.
The goal of all religion is to bring us to a level where we can see the divinity that's all around us. I mean, the thing about religion is that it's so malleable, you can shape it into whichever direction you choose. And I believe better no religion than a religion that doesn't see godliness in every human being. My sons are full-time yeshiva students whose lives are devoted to the study of the Talmud and the sacred texts. In their view, the only world God cares about is the world of Torah study.
But the person, any person that's Isaac Torah, he'll live by it. Doesn't say you have to be a Kohen or Levi Yisrael. It doesn't say you have to be Jewish to be Isaac and Torah.
I'm very proud of my sons. I'm very proud of the way they turned out. And I'm very happy with the way they're raising my grandchildren. You know, like very nice grandchildren. They're Kananahar, they're very good.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, very good. But in a way, my concern is the kind of Yiddishkeit that is being passed on from generation to generation is getting more and more closed off to the outside world. The outside world is sort of, doesn't have a place in how we raise our kids. And in a way, we put down the outside. And to me, that's a concern.
Many people would say that they view the non-Jewish world perhaps as a I don't know if you call it danger or whatever. It's a secular influence. It's not an influence that we want to be involved in necessarily. But the point is, throughout the historically speaking, the record of Jews to non-Jews has basically been a one-way street where the Jews have been mistreated by the non-Jews. So we've never been in the business, we're not looking to have any association. We'd rather have no association than especially antagonizing them by preaching to them, oh, I'm holier than you, you should be like me, you should be, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Let's keep friends at a distance.
Well, this to me is the ultimate danger of what happens when you go with this kind of attitude. I don't know if I got it queued up to the right spot. Let me just take a second. Mom went to the shir.
Yeah.
She came home and she told me what the shir was about. Yeah. And she told me what he said. And I said, I can't believe he said that. So I went out and I bought this tape, you know.
While a Yid has to have respect for every human being, be it
when you sit on the subway and an older guy comes in, you should stand up for him. Being that a Yid has to be dealing with the guy should be on the utmost of emes, because our responsibility is to be oil agoyim. But at the same time, Yidden have to make the cheshbon hanefesh that we have with the goyim, and implant in ourselves and in our children hatred to them, and tell our children what the goyim had done to us for 1900 years, including the story that FDR could have saved hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Yidden in World War II. These are historic facts that can be proven. Every one of our children has to know the long, long cheshbon that we have with the Ummah Ha'olam. We have to create in our souls a barrier against them.
Okay, you got the idea. I saw him on the street. So the Torah says, "Le'sisa'ev Mitzri, kiger ha'yisi ba'atzi." Even after the Mitzrayim enslaved you for hundreds of years and threw your kids into the Nile River, you can't hold sinner to the Mitzrayim because nonetheless they gave you refuge in their land. Anyway, he finally says, you know something? You're right. I don't have a makar for this teaching. But, he says, the Goyish Welt is penetrating and seeping into our community and destroying the neshamas of, the helik and neshamas of our kindlech. I feel it's my obligation to build an impenetrable barrier, like he said, an impenetrable barrier so that there should be no way that the Goyish world should seep into our world. Now, he is a Rosh Yeshiva. Why did nobody challenge him? I mean, do you agree with what he's saying? I mean, maybe you agree with what he's saying. I don't know. You heard what he said.
I think he's a little radical in his viewpoints, right? I would think you'd be the first one to admit that he's considered a little radical.
He's an extremist.
He's an extremist.
But there's room at the table
I
for him.
think we could, okay. I don't know anybody who went through the yeshiva system that came out with this thing that what I'm supposed to be doing in life is hating goyim. That's not what comes out. I'm supposed to be minding my own business and doing what's important to me. That's what comes out.
Well, if I'm going to tell my David Dustin,
Yes.
you know, that Roosevelt could have saved hundreds of thousands of Jews, how could I teach it to my kids?
You
It's
have
what
to
type
teach
of
it.
message
No, you
is
have
that?
to teach it to your kids.
Yes,
Teach it
why
to
should
your
I
kids.
teach it to my kids? It's
Teach
just
it
going
to
to
your
make them
kids
not like
because
the
we have to
goyim.
learn. We have to learn better. No, we have to learn from our mistakes.
How are we going to learn? I'm
You
asking
have
you.
to-
I'm asking you. No, I'm
No,
asking
no,
you. I'm asking you. I forget the tape. I'm asking
Teach
you
him
a
the
question.
history.
I'm asking you
Teach
a
him the
question.
history.
What is David
tell
Dustin
you.
going to come out?
You teach him there's good goyim and there's bad goyim.
Well, the bad guy in history have ruled over. They come out in the strong point. There's a lot of good Palestinians also, but you don't hear from them. You hear from the suicide bombers. Do I love Palestinians?
No,
I don't love Palestinians.
You're only alive today, and your kids are only alive today because of a decent guy.
Wonderful. So I give
No.
him a grace yashikoyach,
No,
and I
no,
say
no.
a grace yashikoyach, and I kiss his feet, and I'll send them every month $100. So what? Yeah. What's your point?
My
Your
point is that there are
you
good
better make a
people
good
and there's
point.
bad people,
Fine.
and hate destroys the people who hate more than you can imagine. It's like Shlomo would say, it's like putting poison in someone's heart. You teach them to hate. You know, I mean, so like you teach kids to hate.
Daddy, you're Gavaldik. You're asking Gavaldik. Mamish Gavaldik Akashas. And Mamish, I hope you find the teretz to these wonderful, wonderful questions because it must be bothering you from Heint Bismarck. And I don't know how you sleep at night with such kashas. But by me, I have a Rambam, I have a Torah of Tariq Mitzvahs, however the Tariq Mitzvahs are broken up. I have a Lachum Mishmisina, I have a Gemara of Shulchan Aruch, I have enough things to worry about in my life, to try to make sure I'm not Machal
How do you know
Shabbos.
that maybe?
Because by me, it's a lot more important.
How do you know what's not holding up the gula is exactly
Daddy,
what I'm
Daddy, I'm positive. I'm only taking a shvu daraisa that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is not being ma'ak with the geula because of me not going out and spreading a light on the nations.
So the question, I don't think it starts over here. I think the question starts.
Like my sons, I too grew up in the yeshiva world and shared many of their views. It wasn't until years later that I met a teacher, a Hasidic composer and singer, Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, who taught me a simple message, one which I'd never heard in all the years I was in yeshiva.
His message is very simple, nothing new, nothing that hasn't been said before. It's one God, He created one world, we're all brothers and sisters. That's all. We have to get it together. Even in this inscription over here, Reya va'ach l'chol asher nivra b'tzalma yisborach. He considered himself a friend, brother, to everybody who was created in God's image. It includes all of mankind.
My disagreement with my sons mirrors the lifelong differences my parents had with each other. Moshe Yosef Daum and Fela Nussbaum were married just a few months after their liberation in a displaced persons camp in occupied Germany. They named me Menachem, which means consoler or comforter. We were among the last of the displaced persons to come to America, arriving in February 1951. We were adopted by Al and Bessie Dubb, volunteers from the Schenectady Jewish Community Council. They found us a nice apartment and arranged a good job for my father. Mrs. Dubb took me to the Riverside Public School and registered me in the first grade as Martin. She told me it would be much easier for people to pronounce than Menachem. They helped us get a TV set so we could learn English. But my father was miserable. There were no yeshivas there for his children to get a proper religious education. Then came Halloween. I asked my mother for an old sheet to make into a costume. When my father came home, he said, "Jewish children do not trick or treat." I sat there with tears in my eyes as I watched my friends delighting in their costumes and bags of goodies. Within weeks, he gave up a well-paying job and moved us to a Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn. My mother grudgingly went along. As my high school graduation neared, my father strongly urged me to continue my religious studies. My mother, on the other hand, wanted me to attend college. Despite my mother's strong objections, I spent the next 4 years in advanced Talmudic study. But I eventually realized that being a Torah scholar was not my calling. I started attending Brooklyn College in the evenings and continued my yeshiva studies during the day. My first encounter with the outside world was an eye-opener. I'd been led to believe that there was little of value to be learned from outsiders. I discovered this to be untrue. People I met struck me as extremely ethical and almost religious in their efforts to make the world a better place. Ironically, my biggest lesson in tolerance came from observing the way my parents faced the crisis of faith raised by the Holocaust. On my mother's tombstone, we inscribed that she endured much suffering. This was our way of asking God to forgive her sins. In effect, we were saying she had already been punished for her sins in this world. However, I don't think my mother felt a strong need for God's forgiveness. On the contrary, she told me when she is called in heavenly judgment, she will turn the tables. She will demand to know why God stood by silently during the Holocaust as her large family was being destroyed.
Mother, 2 brothers and 6 sisters. First husband, Ubno Avram. She had a son before the war. His name was Avram.
At the Passover Seder, My mother would get angry as my father recited the Exodus story. If God did so many miracles during biblical times, where was God when her infant son was torn from her arms when she arrived at Auschwitz? My father would wait until she finished. Then quietly, without attempting to defend God, he would resume the Seder. How do you explain that? I mean, let's say you're somebody who was there and you're still a Frum Jew. Why didn't you just walk away from it all?
There's a lie, that's true, that's also a miracle. Hat Harus hat haken nicht gesagt, Sachen muss sagen, sehr heimisch. They said that's baloney, everything.
Only after a long time did it dawn on me that these survivors kept the faith, did not do so for any profound theological reasons that made sense of God's silence. They kept their faith despite the fact that their questions have no answers. And when I eventually realized that living with unanswerable questions is part of every faith, that no one faith has all the answers, it kind of broke down the barriers that had been in place between me and people who didn't believe the way I did. My wife Rivka, like myself, is the child of survivors. Her father was saved by a Polish farmer who hid him and his two brothers for 28 months.
When I came here in 1949, that was May the 20th, I was looking at a job. Nobody, I couldn't get a job. Only that when I want to observe Saturdays in the holidays, not to work. Religious. They told me only a kosher butcher can be observed Shabbos in the holidays. That's why I went for a kosher butcher. I never was a kosher butcher. My father was a kosher butcher. My grandfather was either a kosher butcher.
So I married the butcher's daughter, and we have 3 wonderful children. Rivka was always the rock of stability, the anchor when our kids were growing up. To a large extent, I left their faith education up to her. After all, children need certainties, and all I could offer them were my unanswered questions.
My father grew up in the generation right after the Holocaust. The question of the Holocaust was still very fresh, very alive. He doesn't claim to know anything with certainty. You know? He's always with questions. He has questions, and I don't think he's found too many answers.
I encouraged my children to spend a lot of time with my father, hoping that he would become their role model of true faith. After all, throughout the Holocaust, my father continued his religious practices, even when this put his life at risk.
Remembers. Screen lacht, ja?
I'm happy that my grandchildren are being raised in my father's traditions. My only concern is that they not inherit my father's beliefs about all outsiders. What other lessons could we learn from the Holocaust?
Not to trust going. Not to trust them at all. Because the best. Tough should be going already. This thing hard to the guide no is a boy to go. Finish. week after the Germans left. I went back to Dieskewelle.
Nobody there. What was the reaction of your neighbors when they saw you come back?
Oh, yeah, Polish. Yes, there's so many Żydki home. So many Jewish people still left. This was the greeting that he got from my neighbors, Polish friends. You know, if not the Polish people that would work, if they wouldn't work together, the Germans, half of Jewish people would remain alive.
I bought into my father's way of thinking about the Poles. Nonetheless, I still wanted to visit Poland, the home of my ancestors. In 1989, when I heard that my teacher, Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, would be giving concerts throughout Poland, I decided to join him. I figured being in Shlomo's presence would at least make Poland bearable. I presumed that Rabbi Carlebach was going to give concerts to the few remaining remnants of the Jewish community in Poland. At the first concert, I looked around, and it was in the Jewish theater in Warsaw, but it became very clear to me that the vast majority of the audience were not Jews, but Catholics, Poles. I couldn't understand it. And I remember going over to Shlomo and asking him, Shlomo, why'd you do this? He asked me, do you know what the first prayer in the Torah is? And I said, no, I don't. So the first prayer is the prayer of Abraham. He's praying to God on behalf of the sinners of Sodom and Gomorrah. And if we want to be the true spiritual descendants of Abraham, our forefather, we can't just concern ourselves about our own kind. We have to concern ourselves with even places of darkness.
I want you to know, beautiful friends, don't ever give up on the world. Don't ever give up on any human being. Because we all are God's image. Every one of us is so holy. Every one of us has the capacity to be so good.
It took a long time for Shlomo's teachings to sink in, because I had to overcome many years of my own upbringing, which prejudiced me against the Polish people. Shlomo isn't here anymore, but I think the best thing I can do for my sons is to take them to Poland. For them, it is a land of total darkness. Maybe if they can witness decency among Poles, they will recognize that holiness can be found in all people. Okay, let me give you all the names.
Right.
Okay, there's Menachem down,
Right.
Rivka down,
Yeah.
Tzvi David down,
Right.
Akiva down.
You call me. I'll
I'll call
try
you.
to do it.
Thank you. Be well. Bye.
I'm in charge of food, snacks, cookies, chocolate milk, chocolate pudding, gefilte fish, sardines, peanut butter. They want Dad to have herring. They were very specific. Bring Dad herring.
Okay, how's my father? Is he awake or is he sleeping? Okay, I'm going to come over in a few minutes and we just want to say goodbye to him before we leave. Rivka, I'm going to say goodbye to your parents and then go to my father.
Say goodbye.
check your family. I'm bringing along all this information with me. Okay, let's see what I know about your family. Chaim Fetterman. I have you down here, Zaidi.
Yeah.
As you were born September 2nd, 1913. Is that right?
Yeah.
I have your father's name is Avram Zev Wolf Fetterman.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I have your mother
Adel.
as Adel Chesky. Okay?
Yeah.
And here's what I wrote down. Just tell me if I'm right.
Yeah.
That for 28 months, you and your brother Yosef Yehida and Pinchas
Was hiding.
were hiding. Okay, let me just see if I got the information down. By but where were you hiding?
I never liked you should go there.
You don't want me to go where you were hiding?
No.
Why not?
They forgot already.
Well, the farmer, I'm sure, died already, but his children, he might has a
His
daughter
children,
and a son-in-law?
Yeah.
They might still be there. Okay, now wait a second. So the farmer's name was Stanislav Matusik, right?
Matusik, yeah.
Um,
And the brand is in the
farmer's son-in-law, what was his son-in-law's name?
Wojtek Mucha.
Oh, let me just write that down.
Wojciech Mucha.
His name was, say it again, Wojciech
Wojtek
Mucha.
Mucha.
How many months were you there?
28 months.
You and your two brothers.
Yeah.
Why did he do it?
Why he did it? This time was supposed to be the war over. See? He took me as just for a while. For a day, 2 days. When you know it, I said, it does go take 28 months, he wouldn't take me.
No, huh?
No. I agree with him, the same thing, he couldn't take.
Couldn't. I mean, it was okay. So but he took a chance.
He got it was a work. He got to cook for us, to bring the food.
So, but he saved your life.
He saved the life, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
so all your children, all your grandchildren,
otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Right. No. Yeah.
But not him, I would be not here. It was impossible.
What should I tell them? Should I send them regards from you?
No.
No?
I'm not alive.
You don't want them to know you're alive?
No.
Why?
Why? I'm dead.
What was it the Mario Darton Axel Gein?
Ich habe das nicht so darum haben. Ich kann doch so aushalten.
Aha.
Verstehst?
Did you go back to Zalashitz after the war?
I was back, but I was running back and forth. It was scared to stay in Zalashitz.
After the war?
After the war.
What were you scared of?
For the Polacken. They was killing. They was killing the Jews. Manes hatten noch den Krieg, ein Jahr noch den Krieg, weiß ich immer haben sie lang gehaget. Watch yourself, it said. You understand it in Polish?
No.
Like you say in English, they say, watch yourself, it's not over. Understand?
Yeah.
Hat man gefragt, die lebst noch? Und so mal lang gehaget, in die Schnur.
Ich gehe dort mit den Kindern, wir dürfen Kiewes gehen Bread mit der Schwer.
Ich merke das nicht.
No.
Dem habe ich gesagt, ich merke das nicht. Verstehst? Ich weiß nicht, was in Titzach. Besser war es doch nicht.
Uh-huh. I should be careful.
Oh, yeah.
Be careful, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
You
Okay,
come
I'll give you a
back.
report when I come back, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a report. Nachem, you don't call me from there. Take your wife.
I should what?
You call me, telephone.
I'll call you before Shabbos, all right?
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay, take care. Da 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 di da 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 di da dum, di di da 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 dum, di di da 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 dum. Shalom Aleichem, Tati. Wie heißt ich? Ich heiße Menachem Yehida. Ich bin der Sohn von Moshe Yosef. Weißt du, wer ich bin? Menachem Yehida bin Moshe. Ich bin ein Einikel. Ich bin ein Einikel von Blima Lasker, von David Down, ja? Ich bin ein Einikel von Akiva Leiser Lasker, ja? Ich vorhand kann Polen, ich gehe mal sein übermorgen ins Donske Wolle, ja? Was soll ich tun? Ich soll beten für dir, ja? Soll dich der Mannen? So Maspalza from Moshe Yosef. Moshe Yosef ben Chaya Blima. Wo soll ich beten dorten? So gehen in zurückkommen beschulen. Wir geben mal Bruches soll als gaan beschulen. Seis Schulen, Bachem Schulen, ja? All right, Tachin. Wie willst du gehen? Aha, wie ist dein Stieb? Du willst gehen dorten?
Ja.
Du willst mitgegangen?
Ja.
Darfst du mal ein bisschen Keuch? Ich muss Paul sein, das ist Keuch, ja?
Ja.
Jetzt kannst du nicht gehen. Du willst mitgegangen, Tage? Ja? Willst du ein bisschen Gemurre auf der Tape? Was?
Ga met dat zijn, met het mond, dat bij Woevel met bezig, maar de laatste helft hier is, dat stukje gemorgen is, heb je gewoon aan mijn wijsjes aan sommen. En dan heb ik nog maar gelernt aan mijn wijsjes aan sommen, als ooit dan sommen uit der blinde. Je hebt uitgespaard van die, aan de tanden van onze mischne oud, als dat sommen, was dat jij met wijsjes. En me geeft het zo'n beetje is, en heb je heute oud, als we naar sommen is jij met wijs, is er niet meer geeft ze wat zo'n beestjes. Also ich lerne rasch mit der Swiss, und also ist nach dem Vor, in der Gemurra öffnen, wenn du mit Alef, also ich noch in der Reihe mit der Gemurra.
I'm coming home, baby, now.
Let's keep it changed in the last 8 years.
I'm coming home, baby, now. And never more to roam. That's what I say. I say I'm coming.
You may be going home. We're certainly not going home. This ain't my home.
My father always asked me, well, Gaina Heim.
Yeah.
You know, so I asked him,
And what are you going to say?
Where's home? So, he says,
where's your home? That's a good question.
I'm a wandering Jew. I'm coming home, baby, now. I'm coming home, baby, now. How's your fight?
That was the point to come here, was the family Hajj.
Well, the family Hajj, because like...
How much is Poland today connected to the Poland of then? You know what I'm saying? Like, modern, different world then, you know?
There are people who feel that the holiness that was once here has departed. I believe that the holiness is still here. You have to just tune into it, you know? It's still there. I don't know if my sons fully understand what I'm trying to convey to them. I don't want them to change their way of life. I don't want them to change their ritual observance. I don't want to undermine their faith, not at all. I like the way they're living their lives. But what I'm trying to do is expand their consciousness.
What's on schedule here? What are you doing?
No schedule.
No schedule. Well, you're meeting somebody.
I want you to meet this Polish woman. She's been researching the town's Jewish history, and that doesn't always make her popular.
She's been doing research on our family, been tracking down records, birth and death certificates.
Do you think she'll have anything to add besides what she sent you? Like what did...
Well, we'll find out. You'll see. You'll see. I think the main street was Luska Street.
Nie skręcamy. Jeszcze prosto. Do samego końca prawie miasta.
Hello, how are you? You Camila?
Camila.
Oh, pleasure to meet you. Hello, how are you?
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Hello, sir. You are?
I'm her friend.
Oh.
Translator.
Translator. Oh, great. What's your name?
My name is Jack.
Jack. Okay, great. How you doing, Jack? This is my wife, Rivka, my two sons. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let me introduce. This is Thomas.
My father can't speak too well. I asked him, Dad, where did you live? So he said,
Stężynska 7. You know that street?
Yes, we know this street. This is the present ghetto żydowskiego street.
They changed the name of the street.
Sieradzkiej i ulicy Stęszyckiej.
Okay, in general, Jewish people before the World War II used to live in this region.
Większość starych domów na ulicy Stęszyckiej już niestety nie istnieją. Bodajże chyba tylko 2 z takich starszych domów, które się zachowały, ponieważ tam zostało wybudowane osiedle i stoją bloki po prostu.
There is no longer, existing buildings of, Jewish people because there was built, new houses. New houses, yes.
Is there something new built on it now?
Mniej więcej w tym miejscu była usytuowana synagoga, znajdowała się ona dokładnie pod numerem bodajże Sieradzka 6.
So this synagogue was located somewhere over there.
There are photographs of the synagogue.
Są.
There are some pictures
I mean,
in the
from
synagogue.
pictures you could sort of get an idea. This is the names of my father, my wife's parents, and their children. And this is like prayers. Usually when you go to a holy place, you take this note and you put it at the holy place, or if you go to the grave of a holy person,
the most famous is the wall in Jerusalem.
The walls in Jerusalem, and you leave it that the souls and the spirits of the holy people who prayed here should pray on behalf of these people here.
They are better at praying maybe than we are.
Crazy. I like to say, I think this is nuts. I've never seen something so crazy in my life. Tell us what's so crazy? He's putting a piece of paper. Yeah, and explain it on video. I'm putting a paper over here because this is 7-Eleven. I mean, this is retarded. This is retarded. Possibly a shul might have been here. I'm thinking a ha. Okay, this is completely ridiculous. I think this is completely ridiculous. Complete waste of time. As like the film, which she's shooting now, and most of the other.
What do you think of your father's quest?
I think it's a nice idea, but I don't think it's gonna go. If he's looking for his roots or whatever it is, I wish him luck.
This used to be 7 Stęszyńska Street, where my father grew up.
That's it, it's changed.
Can't go home again. It's not the same.
This is a medical center. This was the place, it could have been where my grandmother had my grandfather. My great-grandmother had my grandfather. I mean, I feel like going in there and having a baby. But
one of these days you'll say there was method to this madness. How'd you first get so interested in the history of the Jews of Zonskovola?
Dlaczego jesteś zainteresowana tak bardzo tym, czym się zajmujesz?
Ja w ogóle jestem zainteresowana całą kulturą Żydów.
So she is, very interested in Jewish culture.
Wydawało mi się, że był to temat nieco troszeczkę zaniedbany. Nie mówiło się na ten temat w Zduńskiej Woli zbyt wiele. Mieszkałam dawniej blisko cmentarza żydowskiego. Bardzo często chodziłam na ten cmentarz. I było to dla mnie tajemnicze i dziwne miejsce. Myślę, że jeżeli uda mi się przebić i jak gdyby dopiąć swego, że jednak będę mogła pisać pracę doktorską i dalej kontynuować ten temat, to wtedy będę pewna, że ktoś jest tym jeszcze zainteresowany.
Kamila, chodź, to jest zaraz ogrodowa i dojdziemy, zobacz, to jest ogrodowa. Chodźcie.
So this area where ghetto used to be was limited to this region, this area between this street and Sieradzka Street, which is somewhere over there.
So this place was right over here, where these houses are standing now. This is the place where the Germans set up a gallows. In 1942, on the Jewish holidays, Purim and Shavuos, they just grabbed 10 Jews and hung them here. Everyone had to come out and watch. And over there was where they rounded up the whole ghetto, over here. Well, it's a holy place. You can try to say something holy here. Here, just play this. My father was here on the one where his friends were hung. One of his friends was Shlomo Zelikovsky, and he watched them being brought up on the gallows, and they were proclaiming God's unity, and he thought that the fervor of their prayer, he was waiting for a miracle to come, and he watched, and then they dropped, and no miracle happened. He kept on believing afterwards, but he realized that you can't count on miracles.
There are no Jews left here anymore. So Camilla, how do you go about studying them?
To znaczy, ja dowiaduję się takich rzeczy z wywiadów. Dopytuję się ludzi osobiście, kiedy widzę kogoś starszego, to od razu pytam, czy czegoś nie wie na temat Żydów, czy nie słyszał jakichś ciekawych historii. I między innymi jest taka historia dotycząca likwidacji getta w Zduńskiej Woli, kiedy to na cmentarz Żydzi byli pędzeni przez Niemców, a mianowicie mówi ona o tym, że w momencie, kiedy Żydzi szli na cmentarz, kamienie za nimi podnosiły się, a na niebie ukazał im się rabin w jaśniejącej postaci.
Keep your eyes open. We're looking for the tombstones of my great-grandparents, Akiva Leiser and Purya Yiska Lasker. Purya Iska or Akiva Leiser. I can see we can at least find one of them.
Dad, what's the name again? Koryiska? Dad, I found it!
Kappa Porcelani, which means her hand was always stretched out to the poor person. This is a hand putting money into a charity box. Here lies a modest woman. She always went in a straight way. She didn't go off. She went straight. Hein Tilasel. These are her virtues. These are her praises. The daughter of Rabbi Yosef, of blessed memory. And then this over here says, streams of tears came out from the eyes when, you know. Woe to us. Woe, it's so sad that this beauty has been lost. Ranina Kaftel Kofsoner Chayez. The light of her life has been extinguished. Thank you very much. You helped me a lot.
We are glad that you found it.
I didn't think I was ready to give up. Thank you very much.
Don't look, don't stay on the street. You go by car, you stay outside. Besser war's doch nicht. Ich such dir das gut nicht zu gehen dort.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't have her. Okay. That's the synagogue right over there. What's left of it.
That's it?
Yeah, park right over here. That's fine.
We should be meeting our translator, Margaret, here.
Hello. You're Margaret? Yes. How are you? Fine. Father is from this town, but he was very afraid I should even stop in the town. So just pass us through. If you see a shul that's been destroyed, the Varach Dayan HaEmes, you say the bracha of Dayan HaEmes. I don't think Julian likes this for his car.
I think we have to turn around if you can. I know you can't turn around here, but let's see if we can find a place to turn around.
I never liked you should go there.
You don't want me to go where you were hiding?
No.
Why not?
They forgot already.
Działoszyce, we are here, yes.
Right.
Dziekanowice, it's not far from Działoszyce, but this Baranów...
Call up my father-in-law. He speaks Polish. Shalom Aleichem, Zaidi. Ja, was herzlich. Ich bin in Jaleschitz. Ja, ich bin in Jaleschitz. Man sieht, wie ein Haus ist gewesen. Jevinchitze. Now, Jevinchitze is ja. Laat me door geven, even een minuut. Oké, het reden Polish, het geven te verstaan, wir nicht der Brüder. Okay.
Dzień dobry panu. Tak, wszystko dokładnie. Jak?
My father always says he doesn't remember how to speak Polish, like it doesn't come naturally to him anymore. Like it's a foreign language to him.
To oddam pani tłumaczkę. Tak, na...
Państwo wracą, ale ja przyjechałem na swoją działkę.
I tu mam wjechać, tak? Już, przepraszam bardzo.
Nie przeszkadzacie mi, absolutnie, tylko...
Wiem, gdzie są te miejscowości, tak.
Ja
wiem,
mam nadzieję,
gdzie są te
że
miejscowości.
wasz przewodnik wam wszystko opowie.
Tak.
I o tym pomniku również.
Zdecele.
Tak?
Są.
Pod książką.
Tak.
Małe piwo. Autora macie przed sobą.
Halo? Nie. Halo? Nie. No.
Okay. Baranov. Okay. Here's the name of the farmer and the family that hid your father. I wrote that down.
I don't think you're going to get anywhere today with that.
It doesn't look like there's like a corner. You know, there's a bunch of
Yes, corners implies that there was an intersection. I think this is a corner. This is a corner.
There's another corner right there.
There's a corner.
Czy pan pamięta, czy tutaj takie były domy żydowskie?
Fetterman.
Tak? Yes, he remembers.
Tutaj na prosto jak pani stoi, ale to już się,
Nie ma już tych domów.
to już się wyniósł tam do góry.
Aha, ale to one tutaj były, tak? Co było?
Wolwer się nazywał.
Wolver.
Tak.
He mentioned the name Wolver.
Vol Fetterman.
Vol.
Remember Vol Fetterman?
Pamięta pan? Yes, he remembers.
Elmer was my grandfather.
Ile pan ma lat?
To był pani dziadek.
W lewo.
I
to tam na końcu wsi, tam jest parę domów, to na końcu.
Dziadek, właśnie, yes. An old man, yes.
Old man?
Tak? A w którym domu mieszka?
Można dziadka poprosić? To jest tata?
Tak.
Tej pani dziadek. Tej, która siedzi w samochodzie. Dziadek.
Ten pan to,
This is wife.
no,
This man.
No.
To jest żona tego pana.
no,
I jej dziadek
tu był.
Fetterman.
Stanislav Matusek.
Tak.
And the son-in-law was Wojtek Mucha.
Tak,
Wojtek.
zgadza
This
się.
is father.
Her father is Wojtek Mucha.
Tak, to jest mój ojciec.
Did he ever tell stories about that he hid three brothers? Sometimes they tell stories.
A czy pani coś, ojciec nie opowiadał jakiejś
Opowiadał.
historii? Jak,
Agusia, weź no
będzie-
dziadka
Is he
przyprowadź.
still here? What's his name again?
Mucha.
My father was here till 1940, I think from 43 to 45.
Oh, okay, here's the man.
From 43 to 40, he ran away, I think, I don't know when.
Okay, okay, just Rivk, okay, so we need you to explain what's that.
Dobry wieczór panu. Dobry wieczór. Przywiozłem, dobry wieczór panu. Mamy nazwisko Stanisław Mucha i dowiedzieliśmy się, że pan tutaj mieszka. Wojciech.
Tak.
I przywiozłem ludzi, czy pan pamięta sprzed wojny nazwisko Federman?
To chodziło...
Chodziło o Żydów.
Pamiętam Żydy.
No,
A pamięta pan, jakie nazwiska pan pamięta?
jak się nazywali? Ten drugi, trzeci, jak Wojtek. Było mówione, ale to się tak nie może szybko skojarzyć.
Slowly.
Bo się wystraszy.
Przychorował, ja mam słabą głowę.
To nie
Dziadek,
szkodzi,
jak
to
było?
nie szkodzi.
Dziadek, słuchaj, no ci Żydzi, co tu się stołowali? Jak było im? Na imię, nazwiska, jak to było? Przypomnij sobie.
Pincie.
O,
Pincher,
And
Chaim,
i jakiś H na chy.
Chamu.
Chaim, that's my father.
Pincie.
No to już było.
Było, jest dwóch, a jeszcze trzeci.
And one more,
A ten trzeci jaki?
Jeszcze jeden.
Babci zawołać?
Joseph Hebrew. Yosef.
O, Józef. O, tak. Józef, tak.
Josek.
He was the old one.
Mama to tak bardzo jest przy pamięci.
Babcia musi
Tutaj
się
u
położyła.
was w domu?
Nie, na Chłopaninie.
Aha.
Nie.
Hello.
Przywitaj się.
Babci zawołać?
Teście.
Yes, so Mr.
No, ale
Matuszczyk
razem
was
byli.
his father-in-law.
Dobry wieczór.
This your mother?
Tu jest moja mama. Mama no to jest tak bardziej przy rozumie, no jest pochylona, ale ona
That's her mother. That's her mother.
So she would.
Dobry wieczór.
Dobry wieczór. Dobry wieczór pani.
Oh, she's the daughter of the farmer. She's the one that made the
Także moja mama im gotowała jeść.
Go inside.
Mama im gotowała jeść.
Yes.
So she was. How's her memory compared to the father?
Better. But no, the physical condition,
Yeah.
but the mental one.
Does she remember the three brothers?
Pamięta pani 3 braci było. Tak, to wiemy.
Josek, Pincie i Hamu.
Brawo.
His walking became a little bit better. He walks better without a cane.
Yes.
To drzewo stało za stodołą już. To jest. To co jest. No i ta stodoła, no ja wiem, tak sięgała może dotąd, w tamtę stronę. No to tak liczę, że gdzieś w tym miejscu. I na tym było nawalone wiązki słomy do samej góry.
It was just a big hole,
A my dawali,
and a pile of hay was on
a my
it.
dawali jeść.
But during the time of autumn and winter, so the pile of hay was just decreasing because they used it.
Jak przyszli szukać, to kazali tę słomę zdejmować.
So once when they came to
Jeszcze
look
była
for
tylko
people,
jedna warstwa i już głowy
there was
były.
only one layer of hay and just the entrance. And they were asked to uncover everything, but they didn't notice the entrance.
Tak my gotowali.
No.
I no była jedna percika dostać i gotowi byli. Jedna percika.
They want to make a blessing on this place that they found. The place that.
I want to say a prayer.
One second. No, here. Yeah, upon seeing a place where one's parents, forebears, Torah teacher, or a nation as a whole was miraculously saved from imminent danger, so make the following blessing.
What does Mommy say? Mommy says La'avi.
La'avi. And we say
La'avaisa. Okay, ready?
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. She'asa la'avi. La'avaisa nes b'makom hazeh.
Stupid little place here.
I always wondered why they risked their lives.
For nothing.
Why did they do this? Why did her parents do this?
Tak, najważniejsze teraz pytanie. Dlaczego państwo to robili, ryzykując swoje życie?
My z nimi to my tak żyli. Bo to oni handlowali zbożem, no tak wszystkim w ogóle.
Dobrze, to ja teraz przetłumaczę, dobrze?
No.
Since the Jews were trading with wheat,
Wheat.
yes, and they were very close.
My
So they
father always told me that his father, that everybody trusted him. Whatever he said, that was the word. I mean, she was younger, so yes, her parents knew, but is that the reason?
Rozmaite rzeczy zostawiali u ludzi i nikt nie chciał trzymać. A my z niczego tak. Ano, dali my się, no, płakali. Z litości po prostu. Z litości, tak. To tak jak tu siedzę. Nic, nic. Tak, nic. To... Ja gotowałam jeść, wynosiłam. Na wieczór to przed wieczorem, żebym nikt nie widział, w gorskach, oni tam talerze mieli, no i tam jedli. A to do wiaderka się włożyło, gorce wstawiło się z wiaderkiem się szło. A no niby to, tamto i tak. Jak my mogli, tak my tego, bo przecież jakby byli wiedzieli dokładnie, to by było. Z niemy nic i z nami. Tu nam sąsiad mówił tak, Trzymota Żydów, bo my widzieli jak wychodzili we wieczór. Tak my się zaparli wszyscy, to nie, to jak chce ten, tamten, ten nie...
Czy myśleliście Państwo, że to tak długo będziecie ich ukrywać? Przypuszczaliście, że to tak długo?
No pani, przecież my przypuszczali, bo byście wiedzieli jak było, nie? Zabili, że tu mało. Z moich tych rzeczy wygląda. Tu zabijali, tam zabijali, chodzili, szukali, ładowali, przecież to
Tu
nie.
na drugiej stronie za dołem, tu nabite jest.
Tak. To tak było. I to tylko brakowało jednej Persyjki. Jakby byli Łodyni, to by byli, złapali wszystko. No jak wywolali za dużo, nie znaleźli, tak już tył ostatniej Persyjki nie wzięli i oni byli.
Zrezygnowali.
Tak.
Podczas wizyty to byliśmy odważni, że my przetrzymali.
Yes, we were very brave.
Did the granddaughter ever know this story before? And I'd like to know what she thinks. After hearing what her grandmother did and the great-grandmother, what does she think of all this now that she's meeting actually the daughter of the people
Jak to pani teraz odbiera? Co pani myśli o tym, jak już to, co babcia opowiedziała, stało się właściwie faktem, no teraz naprawdę, tak?
Znaczy nie, no ja to tak stwierdziłam, że tak ryzykowali życie, a później nie dali nic znać, że żyją albo coś i jak zostawili bez niczego. Bez wiedzy, nieraz tak mówiła, że... I w ogóle tutaj taki pan opowiadał, że ludzie właśnie bardzo atakowali, że jakąś tam jedną Żydówkę znaleźli i po prostu ją rozebrali z tego, co miała.
She knows the story quite well because her grandma used to tell her over and over again, yes, the story about Jews, but she thinks it was not fair just to leave Poland and leave Poland without any contact later on, not giving just a single word that we are still alive.
So she's...
Yeah.
So tell them we're here to correct that.
Teraz właśnie Państwo przyjechali, żeby to naprawić.
Margaret, I'd like to know if she would have anything to say now to my grandfather. What would she like to tell him? This lady.
Wiała z panem Chaimem. To co by mu pani powiedziała?
No, pani. To bym powiedziała, co i pani mówię, że się powinno coś wynagrodzić było za to wszystko. Do tej pory żyje i to wszystko, a umarł Józef się pod wózek i to wszystko.
She's upset.
No.
He should compensate somehow.
To bym powiedziała. I są chyba wie o tym.
And he knows himself about it. Yes. Tak, wie.
No.
Wie.
Spodziewali, powiem tak, to myślę, to powiem. Że się spodziewali, że gdzieś coś zło pomyślą, a tu nic. A no to się i teraz gdzieś coś trafi. A wie pani co, powiem pani, zapytam się jeszcze, no a dlaczego wyście się przód ani nie napisali, ani nic do nas?
He was himself poor for many years, and now when he speaks about those times, he speaks of his regrets that he didn't keep contact. I think now, when he's older, he says to himself, they're probably not still alive, or he wouldn't know how to write to them. He's not a literate person. He doesn't, can you just write Jalashits and, like that. He didn't, I guess he lost contact, but he always told us all the years, this is the way we grew up, that we were hidden, and he admits, you could say he admits that maybe he feels bad about it, that he should have, but he regrets that he didn't do more. Okay, they have to go. I don't understand if he knows the way by himself, or do you want to
Wszystkiego dobrego.
Idziemy razem czy osobno?
Just from Chaim alone, he had 3 children.
Chaim ma 3 dzieci. Chaim ma troje. Chaim ma 3 dzieci.
He has 10 grandchildren.
I 10 wnuków.
Oh.
And I'm his daughter, and I already have 14 grandchildren and still counting.
A ja mam prawnuków 5.
And she has great-grandchildren, five
Oh,
great-grandchildren.
Chaim has 16 great-grandchildren.
Ale Chaim ma 16 prawnuków.
In Hebrew, there's a saying, whoever saves one life saves a world.
I ponieważ jest takie po hebrajsku przysłowie, ktokolwiek ocalił jedno życie, ocalił cały świat.
So, thank you very much.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
And for your husband.
Weźcie się, chociaż napisał albo co do nas.
Tak, napiszą i zadzwonią telefonem.
I didn't think these people were alive, honestly.
Well, they're waiting.
When that old lady came out, I was shocked.
I asked Zaidi, why did they do this? Did they do this for money or they did it because they were decent people? And he said a little bit of both.
That's exactly what they said.
So they promised them a house in Jalashins.
Yes.
I understand with Zaidi, maybe after the war he had no money and never judge anyone. You can't judge anyone, but you know, she's saying at least should have sent the postcard. You know.
But then again, also don't forget that it was after the war. I'd like to see people stay on their barn for 28 months and come out normal. What I find interesting is though that there was 3 brothers and none of them did it. In other words, why didn't any of them write?
Why don't you ask that question to your grandfather when you see him in Brooklyn?
Oh, 1 second.
Die Frau kennst du?
Ich kenne, das ist eine alte Frau.
Du bist der alte Volk. Sie sind schon gestorben. Das ist eine Tochter und ihr Mann.
Die Tochter mit dem Mann ist sehr alt geworden.
Sehr alt geworden.
Wenn ich mit dort gewesen bin, sind alt gewesen. 20, 22, 25. Das ist die Hunderka, hä?
Ja.
Nee, dann muss ein junger Mädel. Heißt eine junge Frau.
Eine junge Frau, ne?
Sie ist eine scheine Frau.
Ja.
Ja.
Wir haben gesagt, als ihr pflegt sich behalten in ein Loch in
die Stadele.
In der Stadele.
Ja.
Und deswegen verdeckt mit 4.
Ja. Der muss in den Deutschen gesiegt. Verstehst du?
Weil die ist gleich
hinter uns.
You heard him, Zaidi? Hast du ihn gehört?
Die war dort mir gehört, die Deutschen.
Was ist getracht damals?
Nee, was man getracht. Weißt du, was man getrachten? Man getracht, man gehört, dass er keine Ruf. Also er keine weggegangen hat, ob man gedenkt, dass der Gott ins Rost haben, noch sei. Durch die Deutschen, verstehst du? Diese Rostchen hat sich ausgezogen, auf dem Floor, und hat aufgenommen mit das Breitel, wie mir gelegen, hat uns bezahlt, wie sein, was wird gewesen, wenn man sich abnimmt. Sie wurden ihm gehagelt, verstehst du? Nee, ob man gedenkt, der Latenz damit aussuchen, so geil. Hat er mir nicht gesagt.
Could have gotten killed, Zaidi, you know?
Man hat gerät, wer ist das halt Jeden, hat man hergehen, die bebatten.
Was haben sie gehalten, Jeden haben das gesagt, sie kein Kosten leben?
Sie haben sich angestellt mit dem Leben.
Was?
Pabues. Sie haben sich angestellt.
Sie haben gewollt, Musgatte für jeden.
Sie haben rasikiert.
Sie haben gesagt, Mundes auf Eis.
8 Monate, sie haben gewollt, sie überleben.
Aber mit seinem Ziege so Geld?
Man hat Ziege so einem haben.
Einem haben?
Ja.
Sie sind gute Menschen?
Ja.
No, mit wollte sie gedacht geben...
Nur einem haben.
Einem haben, das ist Ziege so. In Chutz von dem, geben ein bisschen Geld noch dazu.
Ja. In Inzim hat uns getan, also wenn Menschen uns geführt, mit der Weg, hat man vergessen in das alles.
Die Tochter, das ist eine...
Eine. Sie ist noch nicht auf der Welt.
Nein, sehr junge. Mit sie gefragt, was tracht sie wegen ihrer Eltern, als sie haben behalten Ayid in der Mechumme. Sie haben gewollt wissen, sie hat gewollt wissen, für was mit Gunisch geschickt a Karte oder alle Juren, nachdem alles getan.
Ja, war das so gerecht gewesen.
Ist gerecht gewesen?
Ja.
Als wir verkehrt, als wollte gedacht, auf Platz zu stehen. Ihr seid gewesen der Polakische, und Ayid kommt zu beten, auf Platz zu sein. Was du gegeben?
In Azam Melchume, wir sind angestellt mit dem Leben, haben wir gehagelt bei dem. Wie wird das gut hier, will das hier. Verstehst? Ja. Verstehst?
Ich wollte es nicht getan.
No.
We sent my father-in-law's testimony to Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Israel. Yad Vashem decided to bestow their highest honor, righteous among the nations, upon the rescuers. This award was to be presented to Mr. and Mrs. Mucha, and posthumously to her parents, the Matusiks. My father-in-law and his surviving brother were too ill to travel to the ceremony, but they were represented by their children.
It's not the road that we took last year. I am not sure.
This time, Rivka and I also brought along our oldest granddaughter.
And the other one.
Dziękuję.
Matuszczyk. Zapraszamy i jedziemy.
Ja muszę kapelusz zdjąć.
Proszę?
Kapelusz trzeba było zdjąć.
To może, bo dopiero się ubrałem.
Dzień dobry.
Welcome home.
Nie, bardzo daleko.
No jak się nie widzi.
No.
To się nie.
Może przejdziemy tutaj.
Dobra. Good to see you.
Idziemy?
Very nice. I'm glad. Who's translating?
Margaret went upstairs to...
Polish, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
They're very excited.
These people saved your Zadie Fetterman.
Pierwsza prawnuczka trzech braci. Pierwsza.
Give her
Najstarsza.
She lives in Jerusalem.
I mieszka w Izraelu. Tell everybody that you saw such old people.
Yes, I'm Irving Fetterman. I'm the son, the second son of Pinchik Fetterman, the youngest brother that was saved. Fetterman, my name. He's the mayor.
W którym nastąpi uroczyste wręczenie medalu i dyplomu Sprawiedliwych wśród Narodów Świata dla państwa Honoraty i Wojciecha Muchów. Jako gmina jesteśmy otwarci na każdą współpracę, która poprawi wizerunek gminy i byt naszych mieszkańców. Jestem dumny i mam ogromną satysfakcję, że dane mi jest kierować gminą, w której żyją osoby, które poprzez odważne i humanitarne czyny uratowały życie drugiej osoby. Serdecznie i gorąco witam w przyjaznych Działoszycach ambasadora Izraela, pana profesora Shevacha Weissa.
I would like to say something face to the family of the righteous among the nations. Please let me to use my Polish from my childhood as a Holocaust survivor from here. Bo ja wyjechałem z Polski jako małe dziecko, 10 lat miałem. Po wojnie. Ratowany przez Sprawiedliwość wśród Narodów Świata. Także ja w tej sprawie osobiście was kocham. Bo ja wiem dokładnie, co to znaczy być sprawiedliwym wśród Narodów Świata. To jest taki tytuł, ale ja mówię o ludziach. Ludzi, otwarte serce, odwaga codzienna. Przecież ja dokładnie wiem, że groziła wam kara śmierci. Ja to osobiście przeszłem, ja to rozumiem. I takich bohaterów mamy bardzo mało na całym świecie.
Unfortunately, there are not many such heroes all over the world.
Taka ludzkość.
Such people.
Kochanych, drogich, ludzkich ludzi. Dziękuję wam osobiście z całego serca. Jak mi pani pozwoli, można pani pocałować. To w imieniu rodzin. Rodziny to najważniejsza sprawa, bo tutaj są rodziny tych uratowanych.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 generations of the Fetterman family with us here today who've come from various cities in Israel and the United States to be here and pay tribute to a very special family.
Są tutaj 3 pokolenia rodziny Federman.
Hitler wrote in Mein Kampf that conscience is a Jewish invention. By eradicating the Jews, Hitler sought to eradicate humanity's collective sense of conscience. The Holocaust was an extreme time. It turned some people into angels and other into animals. Mr. and Mrs. Mucha, you and your in-laws, Mr. and Mrs. Stanislav and Mariana Matusik, of blessed memory, were 4 of those angels. And for this we are eternally grateful. We know it's a thank you which has been late in coming. Just please don't think for a moment that our parents' and grandparents' lack of communication was due to a lack of gratitude. How do you repay somebody that put everything on the line for you? There's such an overwhelming sense of insurmountable debt that my grandfather has literally become paralyzed to act upon it. The question of how to recognize your heroic efforts has certainly been on our conscience. My grandfather and his brother Pincha have decided they would like to set up a fund for your grandchildren's education. There is no way that we could certainly repay what we owe you, but we hope you accept our expression of gratitude, and may God bless you and repay the rest of this debt in full. Thank you.
Tak, that's the granddaughter.
Okay.
This couple, when they got married, don't they look so young? Yeah? We were here last year, and I think we surprised you.
Byliśmy tutaj rok temu i przypuszczamy, że bardzo byliście zdziwieni i zaskoczeni naszą pierwszą wizytą.
My father said we uncovered something that was lost a long time ago.
So we're here today. My grandchild is here. Your grandchildren are here. Even if it wasn't always so good in the past, we hope that your grandchildren, my grandchildren, have to become brothers and sisters. L'chaim.
To nie jest koniec, to jest dopiero początek.
Oh, Zaid is on Chaim's on the phone.
Chaim,
We have Chaim on the phone.
Is it clear?
Okay, so 1 second. Do you want to speak to her? Okay, you're going to speak to Mrs. Mucha, okay?
Dzień dobry. Tak, tak. Dziękuję, dziękuję. Ja też witam.
Oczywiście wy tam ładnicie.
No, może już.
Ja też również. A zdrowiu jak najwięcej. Zdrowiu jak
100 lat
najwięcej.
życia.
100 lat życia.
Dobrego.
I dobrego.
100 lat, niech żyją, żyją nam. 100 lat, niech żyją, żyją nam. I jeszcze raz, niech żyją, żyją nam.
I'm going to ask you, Kivala, you didn't speak at the event. What did you learn, Kivala, from meeting these people?
I mean, I learned there's some very good people in the world. You know, some very nice people, and there's a lot of not nice people, and there's a few nice people. That was the truth. You want to know the truth? You had a few exceptions to the rule. But the general rule of thumb was, you know, to get rid of the Jew is the best thing to do. And they'd probably do it again.
There used to be a Jewish tradition called a tzavah. When you reached a certain stage in your life, and you realized you weren't going to be around forever to guide your children, you would take the most important values that you wanted them to live by, and you would commit them to a document, sort of like an ethical will. I hope that the trip I took my sons to Poland on, in a way, I hope they see that as my tzavah to them. I think it's like planting a seed. It could take years and years. But that's my hope.